Hello everyone, my name is Andres, and in celebration of this year's release of Avengers Infinity War, I am reviewing all previous MCU movies. This time, I am reviewing Thor Ragnarok, or as I like to call it, Thor Ragnarok and Roll. You can laugh at that name all you want, but you know, if you have seen this movie, that name is pretty accurate. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. This movie was released in late 2017 after Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's been a while since we've seen Thor. Because Thor was in Captain America Civil War, and oh boy, how this movie could be used as a study on how to change a character that was seen just as okay into a real badass. Man, neither director Kenneth Branagh nor Alan Taylor were able to make a Thor film that was universally loved. So once again, it was time for a new, fresh director. Marvel Studios chose for director Taika Waititi, director of What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People. I've seen the latter movie and it was pretty fun, but especially it was a unique and weird comedy. And Marvel Studios wanted Taika Waititi to bring some of that weird humor along with him so that he could reinvigorate the Thor character. And boy, that worked really well. Let's discuss the cast first. Thor Ragnarok stars Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner / the Hulk, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Anthony Hopkins as Odin, Tessa Thompson, Idris Elba as Heimdall, Carl Urban, Jeff Goldblum as the Grand Master, and Kate Blanchett as Hela / the Goddess of Death. Natalie Portman, Kat Dennings, and Stellan Skarsgård did not return for their roles, but I think not having them in this movie was definitely the right call. I like pretty much everything about this movie. Let me explain further. After Avengers Age of Ultron, Thor left Earth to find answers to the visions he saw in Avengers Age of Ultron. And the movie starts with Thor not doing so well on his quest to find answers to that. And he needs to fight off some bad guys. From that point on, the movie immediately lets you know how badass Thor is. We get an amazing display of his powers and an amazing fight scene. That scene made him instantly a lot cooler than he was ever before. And that's just the first scene of the movie. After that scene, there's a lot more greatness to come. Later on, he meets Hulk, who had left Earth in a Quinjet at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron because of all the damage he caused during the moments he was brainwashed. And the movie is basically about what happened to Thor and Hulk during Captain America Civil War. Once again, the chemistry between Thor and Loki, I think it's the best that it's ever been. Those two were great together and I didn't expect any less from them. Most of the other characters are really well worked out and the castings and their acting is very good. I also like the humor in this movie. The original Thor was more of a mystical and magical film that had its comedic moments from time to time, but definitely wasn't a comedy. While Thor Ragnarok is a hilarious science fiction action comedy. The movie was really fun, and the characters were approached a lot more comedic too. But the thing I think Taika Waititi did really well, and I think another director wouldn't have been able to do so successfully, is that the movie didn't compromise who those characters were. The humor kind of empowered their characteristics and made them a lot more likable. It didn't make a parody of those characters. I think a lesser director just would create humor by making fun of the characters and turn them into laughing sticks. Lastly, I think the Led Zeppelin Immigrant song was a welcome addition to this movie. That song was used in the promotional material of this movie, and it often happens that songs that are used to promote certain kind of films are actually not in the movie itself. And which is kind of a bummer because you kind of have those songs associated with the movie, but not with Thor Ragnarok. The song was played twice in the movie, both times with great effect. Alright, let's talk about the bad. Luckily, there's not a lot of bad in this movie, but there were 4 things I think the movie came up with a little bit short. Okay, first of all, in the trailers we get to see Hela and Thor squaring off against each other in a New York City back alley. But that scene wasn't in the movie, and it was replaced with a similar scene in Norway. Although the Norway scene wasn't bad, I think I would have liked the New York City scene more. The reason I believe this scene was changed is because of saving time. In the New York scene, Loki and Thor try to find Odin and lift a spell cast upon him, and I think that would have required some assistance by another MCU character that cameos in this movie, but due to a lack of time, they probably changed it into the Norway scene where Odin already broke free of his spell, therefore needing less assistance by that MCU character. Okay, secondly, Carl Urban's character. I think his character could have been removed from the plot altogether. I really think he didn't add much to the movie. However, that being said, the story arc the filmmakers gave his character were handled pretty well. Thirdly, Hela. She's definitely not a bad villain if you compare her to the MCU villain track record. But I don't think she's the best either. She was a serviceable villain that was okay. Not bad, but she wasn't great either. And my last remark is that I wanted to see the Hulk smash more stuff. Especially at one point with the big flaming head guy. I would have liked to see that fight at least be a little bit longer than it was. So, these were all of my complaints. Time to give this movie a rating. My ratings, ranked from worst to best, are as follows: shit, bad, meh, good, and awesome. And I give Thor Ragnarok a awesome. Both Thor and the Hulk had problems with their movies because they were really not universally loved and mostly seen as the weakest of the MCU. Thor Ragnarok changes this completely and gives those two the movie they deserved. It's by far the best Thor movie, by far the best Hulk movie. Check it out when you have the chance. It's an amazing movie. See you all next time, where I will be reviewing Black Panther.